Come join Kyle, John, and David as they go through what's on the playlist. Find out what's everyone's favourite at Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. We have a few segments, to be honest. In and out points, no celebs and the gossip. Back in time where we're talking about the big M's, coming attractions, what the queue. Quick checks, who'll be laughing? You abundantly. Welcome to Dual Redundancy.
Yes, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television, entertainment news, and summer movies with too many else with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and the third one is
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the summer box office to John's award season, to Dave's doldrums of January and February movies that just stink one after the next.
Oh no, man! It's that is usually the time when we get some really stinkers. But there's been some ones this, we got 80 for Brady. Who could have forgot that in February? Cocaine Bear. Yeah, I mean, is that helping my case? I don't know about.
Well, I mean, it's coming out on streaming. I want to check it out now. I wasn't going to go to the theater to watch it, but I will watch that.
That's what people say about me. I'll wait till he's out of the theaters and is at home. But all right, let's break things down tonight. Yeah, we're not talking about the winter movies. We're not talking about the awards movies. We're talking about the summer movies. It's our 6th annual summer box office draft. I guess is it still annual? Because we did take 2 years off. That 2020, 2021 COVID.
The world took it off.
Yeah,
what box office are we gonna do?
Exactly. So
yeah,
our 6th annual draft. And what we do tonight is each host is going to pick 3 movies that open wide release in America between May 1st through the first day of fall. And then we add up the domestic totals between that period. So May 1st to Saturday, September 23rd, the first day of fall, we add up all that money, domestic only, no international numbers. Sometimes you get a Warcraft that really kills it overseas and doesn't do well here, but it's domestic totals. That's very important. And that date is important. Last year at that time, we all had a film in the top 10 making a few million each. So these films could last throughout the entire summer. We've seen it happen. Oh boy, here we go. In order to figure out our draft order tonight, we use a very trusted, reliable source, only the best here at Dual Redundancy, random.org. Random.org.
I thought you were going to say Chat GPT. I thought that's what...
That may play a role later tonight. That's a little tease.
No.
That's a little tease. Random.org.
Oh, no.
And that's going to choose our draft order, and we're going to hold a snake draft. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. So it loops around there. So the first person doesn't, get all 3 films, and the third person doesn't get completely screwed. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. We got to figure out this, John. And John has random.org up. We can't show it at the risk of doxing him. So we have to put in the names. And what we always do is we put the order from last year, the placement, which was... Oh, John. Okay, be careful with that.
covering up. No IP yet. We're good.
Yeah. I think when you press that button, it'll show.
Yes,
Don't press the
I'm
button.
not showing it on the screen.
Okay. So the order. I think he just wanted to show us the order, Kyle, because he wants to rub it in. Yes, John was number 1.
Oh my God! The fix is in. So
But,
wait, you're third.
No,
Dave?
this is last year's. That's last year's numbers.
Oh, okay.
We got to hit random off of that. So, John, whenever you're ready, hit random, and let's find out the draft order for this year.
Ready, go. We have John, David, Kyle, and I will screenshot for you.
This is so fixed.
I will screenshot it for you and bring it in.
I'm joking.
I'm pretty sure
last
year. I'm pretty sure last year, Kyle, you got the first pick, and John got the third pick. And John ended up winning. So, and so anything could happen. Anything could happen.
I've also been in third where I chose all the right movies for third, and there was no way I was coming out on top. So I've seen it work both ways.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, so John won last year. Both you and both John and Kyle have 2 wins. I have 1, but I often get second. I'm always that middle person usually, except for last year. But all right. All right, we got our order. We got things figured out. John, hopefully you've had a minute to think about where you're going. And I'm actually kind of glad because I did actually not want the first pick, I think.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
And I know before we started tonight, Kyle felt very prepared. John is always super prepared. And meanwhile, I'm like, this is the least prepared I've ever been. I feel like I don't feel confident in my picks. I have 9 or 10 films. I think I have the 10 that are going to be the top 10. I don't know the order at all. I really am struggling with that. So John gets to rip the Band-Aid off. John, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so. It paid off well for me last year. So I think I'm going to stay in family and go out on a limb, even though historically they've been pretty good, but not the best. And I'm going to choose Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Man, yeah.
Oh,
that trailer when we went to see Avatar. Man, I don't know if I've ever seen a trailer and be like, oh yeah, I got to see that movie. Like I've seen a trailer and be like, oh, that looks cool. But I've never been into trailer and been like, yeah, that I'm seeing that movie. Like that was a trailer, man. Holy cow.
Yeah. And I think that could be the reason this could be the top spot this year too. And Tom Cruise. It's Tom Cruise again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think this has the biggest potential out of all the films. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this could be a huge hit, or it could be a Mission Impossible film with a slight bump. And that's where I am.
It's a risk.
I'm conflicted with this one. This is, I will say this is not in my top 3. It was my number 4, but it could be my 3rd. Like this was
wow.
Because let's just look at the numbers. I'm gonna bore you with numbers tonight. But the last one, Fallout, made 218 million. That was the top one of the franchise. So, and they've been going up. They're usually hitting around 200 in this new era. But then, Top Gun Maverick was an anomaly. It was a freak show. It was 718 million domestic. Like, is it like $500 million more than Fallout? This thing was huge. It was playing the whole summer. So I think this will be big. I don't know if it's going to be Top Gun Maverick big.
I don't know either, but
I think maybe 300, maybe.
I mean, the last
solid,
one
though.
The last one did better than some of the previous iterations, right? And I mean, I think it's only gone up each year.
Yeah, in this like new era of like the 4, 5, 6, they've been going up, but they all are around that 200.
Yeah.
Like so it's like 218. That's better, but it's only 18 million better. So there's definitely some upside with this pick. It's not going to streaming. Tom Cruise is at the helm. He's not letting this thing go to streaming. It's playing the summer. It is playing. The thing I'm worried about, there's 2 things I'm worried about. Slightly worried about the part 1 of it all. Sometimes when you market the part 1, it's going to end on a cliffhanger. It's like people are going to be like, the Deathly Hallows part 1 was one of the lower box office ones compared to, obviously, part 2, the finale. But the main thing I'm worried about, as we talk about it a little bit tonight, it's going to be a big topic, I think, is the weekend. The weekend they pick, because it is 1 weekend before the Oppenheimer Barbie doubleheader.
Yeah.
That's what worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like not that Barbie and Oppenheimer have like groups that it's playing towards, but I think more people in general are going to be like interested in Mission Impossible than any one group would be interested in Barbie or Oppenheimer. Like, I mean, I'm interested in all 3. I'm probably going to see all 3, but my gut, I feel like, especially after Top Gun, is that if somebody says like, oh, you want to go see a movie, it's going to be either a toss-up or more likely they're probably going to choose Mr. Impossible, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, the downside with Oppenheimer specifically is the IMAX, the Dolby, all those like premium expensive screens, because Mission Impossible is going to get it for whatever, July 14th when it comes out. But will they be able to hold on to them on July 21st when Oppenheimer comes out? It's like, who do the theaters want to praise more, Tom Cruise or Christopher Nolan? Obviously, Cruise gave them quite a big bump last year. So maybe they're like, hey, we'll give you 2 weeks, Cruise. And Chris Nolan could wait a week before he can get the IMAX screens. But it's going to be like those two. I think it's just the timing of those two. It's like, I wish they spaced them out more, but all right. But it's still a great pick. I mean, it's still like,
I think it's a pretty solid pick.
Yeah. Oh boy. I don't know if I even want the next pick, to be honest.
Oh my God.
No, I really am, because I'll say it because I feel like I have to take it, but I don't know about this one this year, guys. I really don't. I'll just do it. I'll just take it. I gotta go with the film that's coming out in like a week or two here, May 5th, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Yes, but also I don't know, like, because
it's a no-brainer, dude.
I might be overthinking it, but I think Marvel, the bubble is starting to deflate a little bit. I think it's still going to make money, but I don't think it's going to be even the Doctor Strange level that we got last summer. I don't
think so either.
Yeah, I mean, okay, usually this May slot rules summer. We got Infinity War, Endgame, Guardians 2. Last year's Doctor Strange was number 2 in this spot. But ever since my pick of Thor: Love and Thunder last year, there's been like this downward trend that we've been seeing. Thor was just number 5. Black Panther 2 came out like about half of what Black Panther 1 made. And then this year alone, 2023, Ant-Man 3 is just at 212 million. That's under the other Ant-Man films. But it's in the bottom 8 of the Marvel films, with the Eternals and the Thor Dark World. It's in that level. And then you're just seeing like this DC, like Shazam Fury of the Gods made 57 million. I think like people are a little like, is this enough of superheroes? Like, I'll just wait for Disney Plus.
Well, I think just looking at the numbers and based on what we're seeing, every Guardians of the Galaxy before this has made over 300 million.
Yeah.
You're choosing this at the beginning of the summer box office month.
True.
So even if it does something like Ant-Man, you're reaping the rewards all throughout the summer. Yeah. If it could stick around that long. I think you've got with this movie, if Ant-Man is making 212 million, I think this movie is more beloved than Ant-Man. And so I think you're looking at an easy 300 million, at least. I think that's what you're getting.
I'd say I'll put this number and we'll play it back in the fall. I'm thinking I can get 250. I might be able to get to 300.
I'm thinking 300. If it really bangs, like people like it, I think you could possibly get 400.
All right. I would love it. Give me 400. I'll take it, please, and thank you.
Just $400, not 400.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But man, I think another thing, I mean, another Chris Pratt film right now is killing it at the box office. It's destroying everything in its path. Will people still want some Chris Pratt and Guardians of the Galaxy come in like a week or two with how good Mario is doing? But all right, enough of me talking here. We got to jump to Kyle. Kyle, where are you going? You get 2 picks in a row, but what's your first pick?
So I'm really interested to see what you have, Dave, for your list, because on mine, you guys had the first 2. I thought those were the clear front runners on the summer box office. And then everything after it, you're looking at even upwards of 200 million for the rest as like the threshold. So right now I have to think also 3, 4. I got to package some picks here. So, so this is.
I'm hoping I can at least get one, because right now I have a second and third pick in there.
Okay.
And then the other one, it's like, oh, that's where it gets a little dicey for me.
Okay.
So where are you going?
I think I am going to. I think it's going to build off of the good love that it had in the original. And it's animated, so I think it's going to bring out a bunch of people. But I'm going to go with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
That's a good
I was
pick.
going to say Paw Patrol's after the end of the thing, Kyle.
Paw
You
Patrol,
can't
yeah.
choose that.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm hoping that, the goodwill towards the first movie, which I still haven't seen yet.
Oh, it's good.
And the uniqueness of the story and the animation. I'm hoping that the sequel will do even better, and that hopefully the fatigue won't relate to animated because they're doing something new and unique with it. So I think at the bare minimum, I'm looking at a $200 million film, at least.
Yeah, that was my guess. My guess is around 250, maybe higher. I think we're at least getting like 250 because the original back in 2018 made 190 million. And I think this one can only go up. It's only gotten more popular. Obviously, Spider-Man has gotten more popular. We saw the live action No Way Home, 814 million during Omicron. So like,
yeah,
if we look at the last time there was a Spider-Man during the summer that was Far From Home, that was another live action one that made 389 million domestic. So I definitely think, we're over 200 for sure. To do another recent comparison with superheroes, Incredibles 1 back in the day, 261 million. Incredibles 2, 608 domestic. So we could see if this thing clicks, it really is going to click. Coming out June 2nd, we got a good amount of time in the summer. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
I'm hoping so. But it means nothing if this next pick doesn't go well, because the 9th pick, I am absolutely...
You're going to get whatever's left.
Stunk, yeah. So these are really the two movies for me. Okay. And the question is, do I go with a risk, or do I go with I think a slightly less risk, but not as good reward, possibly. So I'm thinking there's a high risk, high reward movie out there that's still left. And I think, Dave, you're going to get it.
Now you're messing with my head.
I think I am going to go with a proven director and a proven track record on his movies. I'm going to go with Oppenheimer. And I'm nervous because it's right along up against Barbie. But I'm thinking that audiences, I'm thinking people love Chris Nolan. I tried to match it up against maybe what Dunkirk did, and I thought to myself, I'm still making a good 200 million, I think, with this film as well. That's what I think I'm making. And, I don't think it goes lower than that, but I think the upside isn't as good as another film that I had on my list. But, I'm risk averse, man. Come on, tough.
Man. So my numbers, I just did random guesses on a lot of them, and this might surprise you. I have Oppenheimer on my list, number 9.
No way.
I do.
No way. John, you can't.
Am I crazy?
Mine was 6.
Whoa.
I think it's just the unknown. I think it's going to be a great movie.
I think it's one I'm going to see. That's one I'm paying for.
I just don't think the paying audience is going to be raring to go like they will other movies. Unfortunately, because I think it's going to be a fantastic movie. But I think I'm just a little gun shy on having people go out to see it.
But I thought to myself, because I saw Dunkirk's numbers, and I thought if they're even similar.
I mean, it's still my guess. I wrote my guess as like 180, 200. That's still a great film. I think I have just some other ones that more likely could get to 200 or more. And because if you look at Dunkirk, 189, Interstellar actually made 188 as well, so it's right the same. You
Yeah.
can't count Tenet that came out in the 2020s.
Yeah.
That only made 58 million. But the issue I'm having with this, and John kind of mentioned it too, I think it's going to be a great film. I don't know, in the summertime, this kind of awardsy like film with, I mean, I like Cillian Murphy. I don't think he's a household name. Sure, there's a lot of other stars in this: Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr. But on the poster, even though he's small in that poster there, he's not, the A-list, name.
That's true.
And then you have another A-list it's going up against with Barbie. It's that weekend.
Yeah.
Barbie, Oppenheimer. I think Barbie has the edge with the families, plus the Mission Impossible of it all. Like,
here's
what's it's fighting for those screens with the IMAX screens and the premium formats. And
but the thing with me with the Barbie is like, I do think, like, I want to go see Barbie. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. But if this thing is more meant for adults than it is kids, then I think it decreases its value. Does that make sense? So I don't know what the audience is. We talked about this with the trailer.
I don't think people know that.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
people
really
know
super
until
publicized.
They get there and then they pay the ticket, and then it's like, what is this?
I mean, unless you watch that trailer, you would have no idea. That trailer is pretty much the only reason why I was like, I went from, all right, I'll probably see it, to, I'm going to see it. Because, like, it shifts that dynamic a little bit,
I don't know if, and I mean, this might be true, but if somebody hears about this and then the movie's like, well, this isn't for my children, how dare they have some naughty jokes in there, it's going to be like, okay, the word's out that this isn't for like kids, really. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just like that humor that's sneaky, like in the Disney movies, or what we're looking at with that. That was my hesitation.
Yeah.
So Barbie hasn't even been chosen yet, so I don't know who's going to get it or not. So,
and this is like, again, all these films, like outside of like Guardians, it's like, okay, I think that is the chalk number 1 pick, even though I feel hesitant about it. I feel all these picks are in this like ether of like, they're all in the top 9. I just don't know where they are in the top 9. And that's how I feel about, I have my 2nd and 3rd pick still on the board, but I could have had these at 6 and 7. Like, that's where I feel. And
no, I feel you.
So I'm going to steal something I think John was probably going to take. So I'm going to try to steal it from him. I'm just being petty at this point.
All right.
This one, it's hard to fully compare. It's an old franchise. It's been around for a bit.
I already know what you're choosing.
But like, hey, there was an 80s blockbuster that did quite well last year when it returned. Let's go with it. Why not? It comes out right before July 4th, that big holiday weekend. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Let's go with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I am, again, torn on this pick because you look at the last time there was an Indiana Jones, 2008. It was the widely panned, at least for many folks, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It still made $317 million domestic.
Yeah.
And it was just because, it was the big triumphant return, or like, I don't know, like, is it going to put a sour taste in people's mouth now? It's like, I didn't like the 4th one, I'm not checking out the 5th one. Or it's like, they screwed up the 4th one, but they're going to bring it back in this 5th one. They got a new director, James Mangold. Obviously, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is alongside him. We're going to de-age Harrison Ford and do some like old clips from the original. This could be the swan song for Harrison Ford. It's indie, but like, will still people care? I don't know. It's it's right before the July 4th holiday, so that's good. But again, it's only a few weeks before that Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Barbie triple header. So it's a crowded time. What do you think of this pick, John? Was this where maybe you were going?
That was my next on my list. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of a gamble just because of the history behind it, but I think it'll be okay, in the long run. But that was my next one. So I you're on the same wavelength as I am for now.
Yeah, I'm wondering because I mean, 317 million in 2008 is that I don't think that was adjusted for inflation, so I mean, probably would be higher compared to now. But it's like, can I at least get 300 from this one? Like
Yeah.
maybe
Mhm.
250 at the very least. So that's where I'm hoping with Indiana Jones. Kyle, do you like to pick?
I mean, I get it. It's always good to go with a sequel because it's like there's a built-in franchise there, and we're talking about Indiana Jones here. A lot of people love it. It totally makes sense to me. I valued it lower. But I think you could totally be right. I think you could be easily looking at 300 million. But, you know, I also could see it go as low as like 200 or 250,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a risk for you. I think you're still going to make a ton of money. And I think with your first two films, you're looking at, you could be upwards if you get lucky of 800 million. I think that would be where you're looking at
I'm
right
liking
now.
this positive reinforcement you're giving me, Kyle. I'm loving it. Keep it up. Keep it up. Let's
I'm
manifest
saying
it.
if everything goes to plan, but I
Yeah.
just feel like this summer overall is
Yeah.
just overly saturated
Oh,
in the
definitely.
beginning.
Definitely.
Like
All
in
right.
June and July, I think it's like so oversaturated.
Yeah. All right. So, John, let's finish up this second round here. You get your second pick, 6 overall. Where are
Yeah.
you going?
This is a tough one. You took one of the two I meant to do. I'm trying to find the image. I don't. Oh, there it is. Okay. Um, I'm kind of in like. Let me change this over. I'm like almost in gamble mode. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I from here on out, it kind of is up in the air. Um, I'm gonna go for something I wouldn't normally choose and hope that it pans out well for me. I'm gonna choose Elemental. Um,
Interesting.
Pixar sometimes does well, sometimes doesn't. This one could be a weird one. It could not. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's getting a little bit of a gamble on, but
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
that is a
I,
gamble.
I
yeah,
got some bad news when I surprised Kyle
yeah,
with 9 for, that was my pick, for Oppenheimer.
yeah.
I have
This is your
10
10.
for Elemental.
Yeah.
Mm.
My list actually shifted 4 times in the last like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they changed all over the place. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes these Pixar things are crazy,
Yeah.
knock out of the park.
Definitely.
Sometimes they're a little bit of a flop. Hopefully this is the former and it makes some good cash, but don't know until it shows up, I guess.
Yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
what? You know what's crazy, and but it feels like a sequel to Inside Out. And I
Yeah.
don't know, like you could have
Mhm.
done that, like the poster, the way the characters look, it just feels very Inside Out. And I
Yeah, I
mean
mean,
that
it
could
looks
bode
very
well
similar
for
to
it.
Joy there, and obviously
Yeah.
the sad emoji or whatever it was in Inside Out.
Yeah.
I wrote that this could connect or it could really, I'm worried about it. And
Yeah.
as a fan of animation, as a fan of Pixar, I think it's in trouble. Just because, well, I mean, I'll talk about where it's placed. It's opening the same weekend as The Flash. It's a couple weeks before the animated Spider-Man that Kyle took. It's in between that Indiana Jones time frame as well. The biggest con I have for it is the Disney Plus of it all, because
yeah.
during the pandemic, they began releasing films on Disney Plus. Soul, Luca, Turning Red. And I think audience got really used to that idea that Pixar goes to Disney Plus. And we saw it last year with the fiasco that was Lightyear,
Mhm.
where you have this like IP favorite. I mean, Toy Story always got bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, that fourth Toy Story film made 430 million domestic. Lightyear, you're thinking, okay, that's going to at least get, in that 200, 300 range at the very least. It made 118 million. It's Pixar's lowest grossing film behind films like Cars 3 and The Good Dinosaur. Like, it was a complete and that was based on IP. This is a completely original idea. So that's what I'm really worried about, that like this could just not connect. But again, there's, during the summer, families love animated films, so maybe this one will connect, and maybe just people weren't just interested in Lightyear and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and see.
Oh boy. Well, let's just do a
Well,
quick.
I feel like that's an interesting pick, and that's a cool one for the rest of the draft. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, so what we got now, we'll reset where everyone is before we go into the final round here. John has it up here for him. He has Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Elemental. Meanwhile, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and then Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And then we go to Kyle. He has Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Oppenheimer. We all have one pick left. John, 7th overall, your third and final pick. Where are you going?
Again, I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit in a corner, and I think I changed my choice 3 times in the last 2 minutes. Like I queued up the pictures and then I changed them. Yeah, I mean, we were kind of saying earlier with no, you know what? I want to change my choice again.
Oh,
Ah, shoot. This is tough. All right, let me change it real quick.
I'm not. I don't envy you in this position because I have it between
No.
2 films. I'm really hoping you pick one and I can just have the
Yeah.
decision made for me.
These historically haven't been the best, but hopefully it is a okay enough to be a solid foundation for something else in my choice to springboard off of. I'm gonna choose Fast X.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They historically have been just short of 2, yeah? 200?
Yeah,
So,
around there.
you know, I don't know. I was thinking of 2 or 3 other ones, and every time I thought of something, I was like, oh, it won't be good for a different reason, and I don't know. I'm not saying this is going to be great either, but choices are, I'm feeling the pressure, you know? Like, I don't know.
You're gonna force me to make this decision. Oh, I don't
I
want.
am.
That's not what I had. I had that as
am.
number 8 on
I'm
my
sure
list.
one of the 2 is the one I just bounced off of, but
Oh my God. Well, Fast X, yeah, May 19th it's coming out. A couple weeks after Guardians, and I mean, so you have all of summer, but the issue is, I think the box office has been trending down on these films. The peak was Furious 7 back in 2015 with 353 million, but then Fast 8 was 226, Fast 9 173. So I'm thinking, even though that this is being billed as like the final film, even though it's part 1 of a final 2-parter, I'm expecting somewhere close to that F9 number, maybe even a little lower, like a 150, which is still like that's nice, especially for your last pick.
Last film, yeah.
But
I'm hoping for a 2, but we'll see.
I just think like Peacock has also been like really shortening their like release windows on films,
and also we had the whole debacle with the director leaving. So what is it? You know,
this is Vin's movie. This is we'll see how he is as a writer director at this point.
The drafts are getting too complicated with release windows and all this stuff. No, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, at this point, especially not being super into the numbers and stuff behind movies most of the time, I kind of feel like I it's all the same to me almost. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with my pick here, and I really didn't want to make this decision. I have between 2. I'll tell you right now. Between the picks that I've been taking, the highest numbers I have on my board is pick number 3 and pick number 6. So you're like, obviously, pick number 3, Dave. I don't know if I want number 3.
Yeah.
I might be going chaos right now. I might do it.
I'll tell you, Fast was number 9 for me. That's how far I bumped down. I still have like 7 and 5 and yeah.
We're just like jumping around. We're just like choosing films at this point. It's random. I think I'm gonna go chaos. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm going number 6 on my pick. I'll give Kyle maybe some openings if he wants it. Number 6 on my pick, or on my board, which is the number 8 overall pick. My number 3, really. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life's fantastic.
Okay. All right.
It's plastic or whatever. I don't know the words, but yeah, we're gonna go with Barbie.
Okay. I think the upside on this film is crazy high.
That's where I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for. It's a crowded time. I'm going against John's Mission Impossible and your Oppenheimer.
Hmm.
I have nothing to base this off. There's no,
Yeah.
because all the other films are sequels and franchises. This
Yep.
is its own thing. It's based on IP, obviously, but like, is it gonna play like a toy movie, like a Transformers, like an early Transformers film, or is it gonna be like
The
the
Battleship
Dungeons
film.
and Dragons that we saw this year? Like, is it gonna play with families? But it's PG-13. Like, this
Yeah.
could go any which way. But I think like the internet really like loves this movie, and I'm hoping that translates it. Like, I hope people our age wants to see it, and those memes and the posters. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go see this film because of that. You got families going because, oh, it's Barbie. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, the cast. I think there's a lot of positives here. Greta Gerwig, hopefully, with her behind the script and director's chair, that it's going to just be a good film and get good reviews. So that's what I'm hoping for. Again, this was a last minute switcheroo pick, but John, you think it's okay?
You know what? That was what I swapped off of, and I think I regret
Okay.
swapping off of it now.
Oh boy.
But
Oh
you know
Yeah.
boy.
what? That's the game, man. That's the game.
I mean, I thought it would be taken much higher because I thought it's definitely risky because of all the things that Dave mentioned, but I think the reward could be really high. But like you said, on my list, I just have a bunch of question marks next to it because of all the things you mentioned, Dave. I have no idea what could
Yeah.
happen with this movie. I really don't.
Yeah. So, oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep thinking about it. Kyle, let's go to your last pick. The last pick of the night. Where are you going? Pick number 9.
See, everything that I have left, I think it's going to make about the same amount of money.
Mm.
So I don't think it really matters, which is crazy that you have something at 3 that I'm not even sure it's going to make that much money.
That's why I think I went with 6, because I think the data is telling me it's making money, but my gut is saying it's not making money.
And I think, I want to go with, I'll tell you what I'm not going to go with, I don't think. So I'm not going to go with Transformers because I think it's on its way out, but it always seems to make 150 million somewhere in there.
That was my 11, right
Okay.
after Elemental. I'll tell you that.
I'm not going to go with The Little Mermaid because
Okay.
I just think unfairly to the film, it has some controversy around it, and that's unfair to the movie. And I think it could still be good. I don't, Disney with those films, those live action films have been like iffy. So with that being said, I really only have one left on my list.
Which is,
And I don't know how the hell they're going to market this thing. I have no idea. I have no idea how they're going to market it, but I see it around. I just don't know how they're going to do it with the star that they have. And we're going to go with The Flash.
you're entering the Speed Force. Here we go, baby. Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to work out. I think this could be a total disaster, but at number 9, what do I have to lose?
Yeah, I have The Flash that was my 7. So in between Barbie.
What do you
and-
have at number 3,
so
dude?
We'll get to it. We'll talk about it in like honorable mentions. It was the one. Well, I'll just tell you now. This is all over the podcasting today. This was my top 9, and then we will get to The Flash because we got a lot to talk about with that. My 9 in order were Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. Number 3 was The Little Mermaid. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
4 was Mission Impossible. 5 was Spider-Man. 6 was Barbie. 7, The Flash. 8, Fast X. And 9, Oppenheimer.
So,
but
going back to you can say it and then I'll go on.
No, it's enough about me and my list. We got to hear about this number 9 pick, The Flash.
Okay, so I was just gonna say, just to justify the pick is like, I do think that there is superhero fatigue, but I also think the Flash is one of those characters that a lot of people love. There was a CW show. It's very popular amongst kids. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does, well. But again, it's like they really have to believe in this movie in order to put it out there with what has happened with this dude. I mean, there's no way else to put it. So if they're banking on it so much, it makes me believe that at least they have been marketing it, because I've been seeing it all over the place. So there's got to be some money to be made there, I swear.
Yeah, they are hyping this film up. I saw some stuff. I mean, a lot of these folks are biased because they're involved with the film, but James Gunn is saying it's one of the greatest superhero films ever made. Ben Affleck, who's in the film, said that movie's really good and it's my best S word that I've done as Batman. Tom Cruise even loved it, and he said it's everything you want in a movie. So they're saying it's good. People are stoked for Michael Keaton returning as Batman and the multiverse of it all.
Yeah.
But then you have the Ezra Miller of it all. Like, it's going to be so hard to promote, and who knows if they will get in trouble again. Like, but then again, is that all too inside baseball for most of America? Do they even know that they have gotten into trouble before?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. And like, this thing could play like a DC recent film like Shazam 2 with 57 million total, Black Adam 168 million, or it could be an Aquaman with 335. Like, it could be, there's two ends of this thing. I don't know where it's going. It's a really, but as a number 9 overall pick, I think it's a good pick because the ceiling could be high on this one.
Yeah. And it does have some time between, I think, the next big film, which is Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
If I saw the schedule right. So it would have a couple of weeks to kind of cook for a little bit, I feel like.
It's interesting because looking at like some of the list here, I picked Barbie, which opens at the same time as Oppenheimer, same weekend.
Yeah.
Kyle, you picked The Flash, which right now opens the same day as John's Elemental.
Yep.
So we have a lot of ones competing on the same weekends as each other, which is going to be very interesting. Oh boy. But yeah, so that is The Flash. And I think we can talk about The Little Mermaid of it all because that was my number 3. And
wow.
I was comparing it to 2019. I was comparing it to what we saw from Disney in the live action films that year. There was 4 films that they released. They had, I'll give you the ones that didn't play as well. Dumbo, 114 million. Maleficent, about the same, 113 million. But the ones that connected that year, the last time really we had these live action ones in theaters before COVID, Aladdin with 355 million and Lion King with 543 million.
Yeah.
So
a while ago.
It was a while ago, but like, I feel like it's in that Aladdin, Lion King era of animation of how big those, like animated films were in the 90s, less so than like Dumbo and Cruella and those films like that. So I'm like, okay, it could be more in that 300 range, possibly. I don't think it's going to hit like Aladdin did with 355, but could it be 250? Could it be 300? It is on Memorial Day weekend, which is mixed because it used to be kind of cursed for Disney. I mean, the 4-day totals, this is 4 days instead of the normal 3 days. Solo was only 103 million for that opening weekend. Pirates 4, 78. Alice Through the Looking Glass, 33. But then Aladdin was in 2019 and killed that weekend. So that's where it's in. As you mentioned, Kyle, there's this is unfortunate controversy surrounding the film, and which is annoying. But it's just like, so that's where I was like, when I was going between the two, I'm like, right now the internet doesn't seem to like that film, but then they're really loving Barbie. So it's like, oh, is the goodwill with Barbie? Should I go with that instead of Little Mermaid? So that's what kind of like drove me at the end there.
Yeah. No, I get it. But the Little Mermaid is a huge property. I mean, that's what else you have going for it. So you're right. I mean, this has the potential to make a lot of money. But yeah, I just was worried about Memorial Day weekend, the whole controversy surrounding it. Yeah, it's just a shame, but yeah, I don't know. This could be interesting. I mean, the picks we had were interesting this time around. I feel like a lot of stuff we know could go wrong.
Yeah. So before we get to our honorable mentions, I'm going to run down what we have so far. Go through all three here. We got John. He picked Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, Elemental, and Fast X. Meanwhile, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and Barbie. And then Kyle, you have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Oppenheimer, and The Flash.
You guys really made me nervous about that Oppenheimer pick. You guys are more down on it.
I'm down on it, money-wise. I'm excited to see it. I'm down
I think
on
it's
it.
gonna be a
Oh,
blast.
man.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those ones that just does okay, if that, you know.
So, yeah, so the winner is among us, but it may not be one of the three of us. And I'll say that because unbeknownst to Kyle, we have one more contender.
Oh, God.
And I asked Google's AI chatbot Bard, and I have his or her, I don't know, Bard's 3 picks. And I don't know if John has them quite ready yet. We're crunching some data. Yeah, so while we're going to talk about honorable mentions, I am going to just leave that there. We're going to let what is Bard going to pick as their 3 picks that they're going to make the most money this summer. Maybe they will win. I will say I'm giving them free range, because it's not fair, after we pick 9 films that they pick up the scraps. They get any 3 films they want this summer.
So we're battling the computer, basically.
We're battling the computer.
Okay.
All right. So, John, they're in Discord. While you're figuring that out.
I'm ready to go.
Oh, you're ready to go. You have them.
I'm ready to go.
All right. Let's see what Bard picked.
All right. In first pick, it chose Spider-Man Across the Universe. Its second pick, it chose The Little Mermaid. And the third pick it chose was Fast X.
Oh, wow. I don't have any of those. I'm in trouble. It went with Kyle's first pick with Spider-Man. It went with John's, I guess, last pick there, Fast X. And then it went with Barbie, not Barbie, Little Mermaid, which was undrafted. So, wow.
Okay. It really is like a separate contender right now.
It really could be.
Yeah.
This is wild. Okay, well, we'll have to figure out, who's going to win. We're going to calculate the totals, the domestic totals until September 23rd. And we'll have a winner between the 4 of us. Okay.
If the AI wins, we have to quit, right?
Yeah, we're done. But before we get there, though, we have a few more minutes. We're going to talk about some honorable mentions, some summer movies that are coming out that aren't going to really be players when it comes to the box office. Maybe they're streaming picks. But start me off, Kyle. Do you have any honorable mentions of films that you're excited to watch this summer?
Maybe excited to watch. Maybe I just want to kind of see how they turn out, kind of thing. Gran Turismo, just because I always loved the game when I was growing up. It has David Harbour, Orlando Bloom. I've only seen a sneak peek. I haven't seen much of it. It scares me because the video game movies can always turn to junk, but I'm like, what can go wrong with cars? But so that interests me. I'm not going to say I'm going to go out and see it first night though. That's for sure. I mentioned this on the other podcast, which I'm blanking on the name. Sorry.
Good, Bad, and Watchable.
Good, Bad, and Watchable. The Machine, which is with a comedian I like, Bert Kreischer. It's like his most infamous sketch or skit or bit that he's done, and he made a movie out of it. So that'll be interesting. I am actually very interested in this movie, and I want to go see it in theaters to support movies like this, even if it stinks. Rated R comedy, No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence.
Your life story, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah, sure.
I'll run down it because this is actually on my list too. It's just because of the concept, and we're not seeing films like this in theaters anymore. But it's from the writer behind Bad Teacher and the director of Good Boys, and it's Jennifer Lawrence, which seemingly is like an early 2000s comedy about an Uber driver who faces bankruptcy, accepts a Craigslist posting to get a Buick Regal from two parents looking for someone to date their clueless son.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an R-rated comedy from Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Okay, Oscar winner Jennifer Lawrence. So.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one I have, I'm not really interested. I'm interested to see how it turns out. But I don't really have any desire to watch it. Is a new adaptation of White Men Can't Jump with I forget the one guy, but the one is Jack Harlow, and I'm like, oh man, we're giving Jack Harlow acting material, but whatever. Interested to see how that turns out. Not necessarily interested to see how to watch it. That's for sure. But those are what comes to mind.
Okay, you got some good films there. John, anything that you're looking forward to that we haven't talked about tonight?
No, I gotta say my big three I think are gonna be Top Gun, Oppenheimer, and
Top
Indiana
Gun.
Jones. Not Top Gun, Mission Impossible.
Okay, I was gonna say I got good news for you, buddy. It's already streaming.
Whoa! No, Mission Impossible. Now I want to say Top Gun again. Indiana Jones and Oppenheimer, I think, are the big three I want to see, and we kind of pretty much discussed all those already. There are other things that I probably will see, like Barbie and a couple other ones, but again, the Mission Impossible, it just that trailer, man, I can't express how much it grabbed me. Like I usually am not a trailer person, but that
it played before Top Gun Maverick, so I mean that's
I didn't even see it before Top Gun Maverick. I saw it before Avatar.
Oh yeah, maybe it was before Avatar.
Yeah,
I think definitely something played before Top Gun Maverick though.
They were in the airplane, in the biplane. He was like walking around or on the biplane wing or something, talking to the camera. But no, it was the motorcycle trailer is the one specifically I'm thinking about, where he jumps the motorcycle. It's just like, holy cow.
Yeah, so I got a few I'll run through. Just interesting ones, maybe ones I might not even end up seeing, but I just thought they're interesting premises. We got Fool's Paradise, which is on May 12th. It's Charlie Day's directorial debut. He also wrote it, and he plays a mute man from a mental health facility that looks just like a method actor who refuses to leave his trailer. And I just think it's interesting because, Charlie has such like an iconic voice, and it's like he's choosing to kind of go silent and be a physical comedian here. And it has like an old school Hollywood vibe. There's a big cast of like Ray Liotta, Common, Jason Sudeikis, Adrian Brody, John Malkovich, Jason Bateman.
Ray Liotta, he's still in it? I mean, I thought his last film was
Cocaine Bear. No, I guess he has another one coming up, but it's like you just don't see a film like this, I feel like, for theaters, especially in the summer season, some kind of, arty, movie. Like normally it's like a big blockbuster sequel, but so this is an interesting pick. There's Asteroid City, which is a Wes Anderson film with, again, a lot of Hollywood involved. Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Tilda Swinton, Bryan Cranston, Adrian Brody again, Steve Carell, Margot Robbie, many other people. So it's like, okay.
I honestly don't know how I feel about Wes Anderson.
He can be hit or miss for me.
Yeah,
there's times where I think it works, and then there's other times I don't want it at all.
Yeah.
But it's always interesting. He's always doing something, and it always looks beautiful. And then I'll just mention two more. I got Flamin' Hot. I mentioned it on the Good, Bad, and Watchable, based on the true story of the Frito-Lay janitor who claimed to have invented the snack Flamin' Hot Cheetos. It's coming to Hulu, so I mean, I don't have to go to the theaters to check out Flamin' Hot. And then one I'm really interested in just seeing how it's going to work is the Please Don't Destroy film. It's going to be coming out in August. It's about three childhood friends who set off to find gold treasure rumored to be buried on a nearby mountain. And I'm just curious because these are the three guys who have been doing all the SNL digital shorts recently. And I like watching their shorts, but they are shorts. So like, is this sure? Hot Rod and Pop Star and all that stuff came out of the Lonely Island, but can their kind of manic energy, the quick cuts, all that stuff translate to a 90-minute feature that's in theaters? I don't know. I'm just really curious to see how this kind of turns out. So that's just one I'm kind of thinking about watching.
And does that? What
That's
streaming service?
I think that's a theaters film. That's August 18th. Yeah,
August
from
looks a little
Universal,
slim.
Universal and Apatow Productions. So
yeah, August looks really slim for movies that month.
Yeah, I don't think we picked a single film from August for the draft.
No, it looked bad. Bad.
Yeah, so no Meg 2, The Trench.
Okay, I thought I was when I saw the name of that movie, I thought to myself, they've already made a sequel for that Megan movie that just came out recently.
It came out in January, and they're already back at it. Then you got like the September. I mean, we could have picked a film in September, even though it's not summer, quote unquote. But The Equalizer 3, The Nun 2, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, they're really going all in on the sequels in those 2 weeks.
And isn't there like The Expendables or something?
Expendables 4.
Yeah.
Oh boy, but none of those were picked. We got our 9 picks. We got Bard's 3 picks. Oh boy, who's going to come out on top? We'll find out in September when we calculate everything. But that is it for our annual summer box office draft. And we've been doing every other week the past few weeks, but actually we're going to be coming back next Monday, May 1st, for a big episode. We got a lot to do. We got a mid-season check on Barry's final season. We have a movie review of Beau is Afraid, the new Ari Aster film. And then we painfully say goodbye to our friend and colleague and mentor, James Corden, in the Late Late Show. He's going to be saying goodbye, heading back off to the mouse humping yard in the sky.
He'll get ran over by a car if he's not careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful doing those crosswalk musicals. But we're going to break it all down next week, May 1st. And May really does have a bunch. So make sure you're tuned and ready to go. Subscribed on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, dualredundancy.com. We have so much going on. We have new shows like White House Plumbers. We have Pete Davidson's Bupkis. We have Class of 2009. We have the returns of the other 2, and I Think You Should Leave, plus the series finales of Succession, Barry, and possibly Ted Lasso. So a lot to do in May. It's a big month. So make sure you're ready to go. We're going to be back May 1st on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dual Redundancy. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at Dual Redundancy. I got to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight, for drafting these films, for John doing so much live direction tonight, making all those graphics on the spot here, for directing it, putting it up on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
But that is it. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.